go. Let's go, Paul.
Welcome to the Kyle Long Show. Here's your host, Kyle Long, and his main man, Paul Swan.
All right, I am lucky to be joined again by my good friend Paul Swan from the 3 team down there from NASCAR land. You know, Paul Swan is a former football player and now working with a NASCAR Cup team. You have a wealth of knowledge that spans a lot of fields, tracks, states, and maybe continents, who knows? But one thing we enjoy each week is just talking about everything from football to pop culture to viral videos we've seen. What do you think, Paul?
You know, I've obviously played college football and loved everything about it, and now I'm racing in the NASCAR world. And again, I just love everything about this sport, man. And just curious, what got you into it?
It's 5 years now. I had a really bad injury in Tampa Bay to my ankle. It limited my walking. I couldn't work out for a while, and I needed something to pour myself into. One of my buddies, JR, was like, you got to try iRacing. It's amazing. Because we were doing the whole watch NASCAR. I was playing all the NASCAR games, but he said, this is a sim. And if you can understand this, you understand what's going on the track on Sundays. And that's really the inception of my fandom in NASCAR. Now I get to do a show with you. We have our own show on NASCAR.com. YouTube land is watching us as well. This is as good as it gets, bro.
On today's show, the playoffs and payoffs. Silly season is officially here. We play What's Behind the Door, Kyle and Swan's viral videos of the week, and our guest this week, Flat Top himself, Hall of Famer Howie Long. Here's your host, Kyle Long, and to Paul Swan.
Paulie Swan, dude, I've been looking forward to speaking to you all week. A lot of changes in the NASCAR community. With the playoffs, I've only been to the playoffs one time in the NFL. And all the other years during the playoffs, our coaches were getting fired, our quarterback was getting replaced, our running back was getting released.
No.
What kind of silly stuff are we seeing in NASCAR while the playoffs are going on with the guys who are not necessarily in the playoffs?
My second time going to the playoffs in NASCAR, so I'm pretty excited about it. And, I think some of the attention's definitely at this time of the season goes a little bit away from the playoffs with silly season. Like you said, all these guys, all these drivers looking for rides, a lot of rides opening back up. We have rumors that, me and you were just talking about drivers maybe becoming owners with Denny Hamlin.
It's wild, bro.
It's wild, man. It is.
Yeah, while you're talking about the players or the drivers turned owners, it makes me think, what if a guy like Khalil Mack, who's paid $1 billion to play in the NFL, has ownership in the Chicago Bears, and then he makes the decisions? Yeah. Or Clayton Kershaw now owns the Dodgers. It's a rare, unique thing in racing that these guys are not only well enough behind the wheel, but they're good enough in the business side of things and the upstairs, so to speak. So that's cool.
You know Khalil Mack well. You think that would be something that, he could handle? He's one of the greatest football players on the field, as we've all seen. Do you think that would ever be a possibility of happening?
Whether he was good or not, I think if he made the decision and his decision was final, nobody would question him because he would just crush their soul.
He's a pretty scary guy.
Who you got? Let's play a game of fantasy. Football. What's your team name?
Ooh, my team name. I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, you take this one first.
So my favorite team name to use, whether it's fantasy or if I'm making like an MLB The Show team, I always use the Gauchos because I played at Saddleback Junior College in Orange County, and we were the Gauchos. They are named after Argentina's Cowboys, who have a rich history riding through those mountains, keeping the flock together. It's like Yellowstone, but in south of the border, and I'm really into that. So what you got?
I love that. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm a manager of 4 fantasy football teams. And one of the names, my main team name is Tickets Incorporated, which I think we all know the love of tickets. Come on.
Give us the story on that real quick while you answer this question. Give the fans that don't know, like I came into the understanding last week of what the tattoo and the symbolism is. So explain it to the fans who are tuning in for the first time.
I mean, tickets is everything to me. It's whoa, tickets, please. And I got it tattooed on my arm. I got a necklace pendant of it. I put the sticker on all my helmets. It's just kind of my thing. I got the kind of the backstory of it was from college football. One of the coaches, the offensive line coach, he would watch film with his guys, and he acted like he was the conductor, you know, getting the tickets all aboard. He'd watch film and watch one of his linemen pancake somebody, you know, drive him back, pancake, and he'd be like, whoa, tickets, please.
So if you had him coaching a football team, what would that team name be?
Oh, it's got to be the Tickets.
The Tickets. I'm into that.
Show,
okay,
ticket
so
bombs or the something.
Tickets, and I would assume the admit one would be the logo.
I'll be all over. The main drink at mine and my wife's wedding was actually called the Ticket Bomb, and it had little tickets in it.
I still got time to get that at my wedding in May.
Yeah, so. There we go. I can give you the number to the right guy.
All right, so that's good. What do we got next?
Now it's time for the penalties of the week.
You know, being married to my beautiful wife, I love you, Mariel, but there are some things that the old missus does that gets under my skin, like nice sink on her side. We got his and her sinks in our bathroom. Her sink is all her makeup and hairspray and irons and blow dryers and all this stuff. My sink is beautifully clean, pristine, got all my stuff how I want it. And I get in there and her stuff is just everywhere on my sink. And I'm like, you got your own sink. And she's just like, what's yours is mine.
I was doing laundry the other day and I noticed that not all laundry is created equal. Like when I pull out my t-shirt and I fold it up, it's big enough to where I can fold it like a blanket. It's easy. And then I'm in there doing her like workout tops and everything. I'm like, which child did you steal clothes from? There's a kid with a sunburn out there because of you. The stuff is miniature, and I think it's a joke. I think I'm getting pranked every time I go to fold like tiny little socks. I'm like, what is this? Also having to separate the order for the lattes. You know, I want half and half of mine. She wants almond milk. And I'm like, how does almond milk even work? Do you just scream in an almond until it cries into a cup and there's your almond milk? Paul, we got the main man, my dad, Hall of Famer Howie Long, joining the show today.
I mean, Kyle, it's fun being on the show with you. You're a legend, hell of a football player, hell of a man. But, guy, this is Howie Long. What are we going to call him? We're going to go Howie, Dad, Mr. Long, or, you know, maybe even Flat Top. What do you think?
Man, I feel like I always am fine saying Pops, but if I'm not referring to him as Pops, I definitely like to call him Flat Top because people know him from the old anvil head. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so now I'm joined by none other than my very own father, Howie Long, NFL legend, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champ. But little do you know that my dad is also an amateur race winner. Would you like to expand on that, Dad?
We drove in, I think it was 85 maybe, before either one of you guys were around. Drove in the Mint 400, had a ball, was Bill Piquel. We were in the amateur portion and, you know, we were on the same course, but they made sure to tell us, get out of the way because these cars are just flying by you. And they said they'll beep, they'll bump, and then they'll run you off the road. And it came down to right at the wire. It almost actually broke out into a fight. I bumped into Dennis Harris' car, who is an all-pro guard for the Rams.
Allegedly.
And you ended up playing football with his son at junior college. So it's a small world.
That is awesome, man. Man, so you're a man of many talents, Howie. You got Pro Football Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, amateur race car driver. You also did some acting too. Big fan of the 3,000 Miles of Graceland movie. Can you tell us a little?
That's kind of a cult film. I got a call on that, and Kevin Costner and Kurt Russell, and I spent more time with Kevin Costner, who was really cool. I've been fortunate enough to work with John Travolta on Broken Arrow, and really cool. And then we shot down in on the Fox lot. All the stuff in the train was shot on the Fox lot, and died big in that one, and died big in 3,000 Miles to Graceland.
There's rumors going around now that Denny Hamlin, who is a very, very good race car driver from Richmond, as a matter of fact, he's looking into some ownership in NASCAR as well. And it crossed my mind, what would it look like if players in the NFL, NBA, and MLB had an opportunity to not only play, but own part of the team?
Yeah, and you and I have had this conversation about, other things. Like, for example, you've got a friend who comes to you and says, hey, I've got this great condo complex, or I've got this restaurant that I want to, you should invest in. I don't know anything about condo complexes. I don't know anything about restaurants, and I certainly don't know anything about owning a race car team. And I know it costs a lot of money to run a team. And you're constantly, it's almost like running for office, where you're constantly trying to find sources of revenue to maintain your team through advertising. And that's hard.
We got dad, we got son. Howie, give us a funny story of Kyle and maybe Chris and you all back in the day. What's the funny stuff you got?
Oh, golly, there's a lot.
Make sure you make it extra embarrassing for Kyle.
Or embarrassing, yeah.
When we got to high school, it was like Little League was cool, and then baseball started to take off, and they have the top 100 players in the country come in for what they call a perfect game. Kyle was hitting bombs off the hockey arena at the University of Cincinnati with a wood bat, and then through 96 that day. And,
I could 88. For the backstory there, I thought I was an 88-mile-an-hour guy, and I thought I was an average baseball player.
Yeah.
The Yankees were coming down on short notice, and they wanted Kyle to pitch and, throw a bullpen. And
the New York Yankees.
Take some BP. And Kyle was supposed to be up at, I don't know, 8.
It was a reasonable hour, like 8.
Oh, no.
8. Kyle's a lot like me. You can get distracted. You can lose your focus. And, oh, my God, I forgot I have a 2 o'clock phone call. I forgot the New York Yankees were in town. I overslept. And he goes, no, he's upstairs. I'll never forget. I was in the front hallway, and we have a big front hallway. It's an old 1846 house.
Yeah.
And he was up on the top of the stairs going, no. And I said, yes.
All right, you said you'll never forget me saying no, and I will never forget.
Nobody in the family will ever forget.
Yes.
No.
Kyle was the damn Yankees, man. What are you
say
doing?
no loud enough?
It's because I grew up a Red Sox fan, and my dad's from Boston, okay? It's because we used to sit on the couch, eat vanilla ice cream, and watch Jason Varitek take them boys to the World Series.
Yeah. Kyle took the Lewis and Clark route to professional football. Goes to the combine, blows it up, gets picked in the first round, and goes to the Pro Bowl his first 3 years, which, trust me, never happens. Yeah. The story just doesn't happen like that.
I got really lucky. Paul, it was definitely like how you've ended up where you're at, how Austin's ended up where he's at. It's a lot of hard work meets opportunity.
Yeah, no question.
All right, Dad, Paul and I do a really weird segment. We're just trying to get a little spicy in here. So we all have doors in our apartments or our homes. And one thing we've been playing is what's behind the door. So do you have any guesses as to what's behind my spare bedroom door, Dad?
Probably a pile of clothes.
I've got my camera equipment because I'm working remote with CBS, baby. I got my full studio set up. Paul has even cooler stuff behind his door. I'll let him ask you.
We got Han Solo on my door. Love Han Solo, big Star Wars guy.
Me too.
What do you think's behind my door?
A hair care set. I love the hair. Look, I love the hair, man. But that's got to take some time to get out the door in the morning.
Oh, yeah, I wake up like this.
Stop it.
Hair is just
a little known fact about Paul. He's married to Miss North Carolina.
So in turn, I am Mr. North Carolina.
That we all three of us have something in common. We've all outkicked our coverage.
Exactly.
You're so friggin' smart. That's where we end with you, right there.
Exactly. I love that. All right, Kyle. I think it's time to play our favorite game. What's behind the curtain? But in this case, it's going to be what's behind the Han Solo. Woo!
Well. Tickets, please, to go behind door number 1, which is where all the money-making stuff is. That's where we get the stuff done. It's rise, grind, lift, eat, repeat. You know what I'm saying?
Guy's an absolute Star Wars legend, and we got him trapped here, you know, just hanging out with us.
You know what this stuff is?
We got tripods, bipods, plugins, expos, whiteout boards. We got instructions for the boards. We got Lululemon bags. We got everything in here.
What you hiding, Han? Guess let's find out. Whoa! 2 of my favorite things, tickets and rubber, baby. Used up rubber.
I even got one of these fancy-dancy Sony cameras. That's what's behind the door.
Now it's time for Kyle and Swan's viral videos of the week.
All right, we love this segment. You know, we each get to submit in our group text some videos. And this one I got here, it's a gentleman who I guess was a little bit late at the stoplight. He's in the crosswalk, and then Buddy just walks up, real city dweller there, no cares about it, walks through his passenger seat. Dude gets out of the car like, did you guys see that? What would you do in this situation, Paul?
Did anybody just catch that? My first mistake, my man's parked in the crosswalk. Nobody likes when somebody's parked in the crosswalk. They always give you that dirty look like, what are you doing? So if I'm this guy, you know, power move by the guy walking through the car, maybe a, you know, aggressive move we could call it. But if somebody's doing that to my car, my convertible, I'm zooming off. I don't care. Kid better have a helmet on. Kid better learn how to catch himself on his feet. I'm taking off.
Yeah, he better learn to use those hands and maybe the ABS and not walk into your car. Yeah. What do you got for us, Paul?
So I came across this one today. You know, my guy, all the Detroit Lions fans were cheering. Woo, woo!
Love this video.
Wide open, DeAndre Swift catches the ball, they win. And then they're like, what? He didn't catch it. The guy at the end goes, he did it. He stopped it. And, I mean, what is the best part about that is that's typical Lions, I feel like. You know, feel like they got victory in their grasp, and then they just poof.
Par for the course in Detroit to be so close yet so far.
We are 2 races into the playoffs. Who ya got? And excuse me, Garson, what's on the menu for the cutoff race?
Well, I'm expecting to see more Brad K. We saw it earlier in the season. Coming off a win last week, I think he might be able to maintain the dominance at Bristol. Everything's going to be out on the line. It's playoff racing. I know you got Austin Dillon. Tell me why and what we should be looking forward to.
I'm always going to pick my guy, AD, man. He's on fire right now. Our team is on fire. I think we're clicking on all cylinders. We're going to have a really great starting position, great pit stall for us to bang out some pit stops. But, yeah, don't count out my guy, AD. But like you said, Keselowski's got some momentum right now. Blaney is bottom of the points right now for playoff time. Yeah, and he is very good at this track. So I think it's pretty much win or go home for him at this point. What do you think about old Blaney?
So I like Blaney a lot. I like what he brings to the sport. I like his look. I think he's got like the 90s, early 2000s NASCAR look. I wish he would adopt some of the vibe. And I think he's a guy that could be more popular as we see him win more and more and people understand that this is the playoffs. You got to let it hang out. Right. But one thing I want to talk about is my experience at Bristol and iRacing. And it kind of looked like AD with the pit stop, but it was a pit go last week. That's what I looked like at Bristol during a pit cycle, because these short tracks, I'm distracted by the bright lights, because that place is like an SEC football game come race day, race night. And I think that's important for the drivers as well as the people on TV watching.
It's going to be a wild night. We're looking forward to it.
I hope this thing's recording because I have some good things to say. We want to wrap up the show, and I also want to send you all a call to action. We will be taking YouTube fan questions starting next week. So if you follow the link right here, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, comment, share to all your buddies. Me and Paul need more friends. We get tired of talking to each other. I had to have my dad on the show today. Maybe next week we're talking about your questions. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Peace. So I'm going to FaceTime my mom.
All right, Mom.
I love you. You're handsome.
Oh, you're so handsome. Sorry, ladies, I'm taken.
Dirty, badass American speed, brother.
Yes, sir.
How long does it take Paul to get out of the house with that hair in the morning?
Man. Oh, I'm trying to get like you with that hair, man. You got the flat top. I'm trying to look good like you.
My thing stands up when I get out of bed. It's like this all the time.
Same. I cannot believe what I just saw.